Welcome to Rare Coins Value. Imagine holding a small Canadian 5-cent coin from 1979 in your hand. At first glance, it looks simple, even ordinary. But what if I told you this tiny piece of metal quietly witnessed one of the most transformative eras in modern Canadian history? The late 1970s were a time of economic pressure, rising inflation, energy crises, and political change. While the world was focused on headlines, this humble nickel passed silently from hand to hand, through grocery stores, subway stations, coffee counters, and factory wages. It never asked for attention, yet today collectors across the world stop, examine it closely, and ask a single question: why does this coin still matter? The answer lies not in loud rarity, but in history, craftsmanship, and survival. Coins like this are not just money, they are frozen moments in time. And once you understand that, you never look at a 5-cent piece the same way again. The 1979 Canadian 5-cent coin was issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait appears on the obverse side. By 1979, her image had already become deeply familiar to Canadians, symbolizing continuity and stability during uncertain times. The portrait used on this coin was designed by Arnold Machen, a British sculptor whose elegant and dignified depiction of the Queen became one of the most recognized numismatic portraits in the world. The Queen is shown wearing a tiara, facing right, with calm authority and timeless composure. Surrounding her image is the Elizabeth II DG Regina, meaning, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. This Latin phrase connects the coin not only to Canada but to centuries-old royal traditions that shaped the nation's identity. On the reverse side of the 1979 5-cent coin, we see the iconic Canadian beaver, a symbol so deeply tied to Canada's history that it predates the country itself. The beaver was designed by George Edward Kruger Gray and has appeared on Canadian nickels since 1937. This animal was central to Canada's early fur trade economy and represents hard work, resilience, and nation building. In 1979, this image still carried strong cultural weight. The beaver sits on a log, calm yet powerful, embodying the spirit of a country built through effort and endurance. Above the beaver appears the word, Canada, while below it reads, 5 cents, and the date, 1979. The layout is balanced, confident, and unmistakably Canadian. The 1979 Canadian 5-cent coin was struck in pure nickel, unlike later nickels which shifted to plated steel. This is an important detail for collectors. Pure nickel gives the coin a slightly heavier feel and a distinctive metallic sound when dropped. The coin weighs approximately 4.54 grams and has a diameter of about 21.2 millimeters. Its magnetic properties and resistance to corrosion have helped many examples survive decades of circulation in surprisingly good condition. Because it was made of pure nickel, the coin also reflects a period before rising metal costs forced mints to rethink traditional compositions. In terms of mintage, the Royal Canadian Mint produced tens of millions of 5-cent coins in 1979. This means the coin is not rare in a strict numerical sense. However, rarity in numismatics is not always about how many were made, it's about how many survived in high quality. Most 1979 nickels were heavily circulated, used daily by ordinary Canadians. As a result, finding examples in uncirculated or near mint condition today is increasingly difficult. Coins with sharp details on the Queen's hair, clear lettering, and a well-defined beaver command much more attention from collectors. From a value perspective, a circulated 1979 Canadian 5-cent coin is generally worth face value or slightly above. However, uncirculated examples can be worth several times their original value, especially if they retain original mint luster. Coins graded by professional services with high mint state grades are far more desirable. Errors, such as off-center strikes, weak strikes, or die cracks, can dramatically increase value, turning an ordinary coin into a collector's prize. These errors were not intentional, they happened during high-speed minting and were released unnoticed into circulation. Historically, 1979 was a fascinating year for Canada. Inflation was rising, interest rates were climbing, and the economy was under pressure. The 5-cent coin you see today once played a real role in everyday transactions during this era. It paid for newspapers, candies, bus fares, and small essentials. Unlike modern digital money, this coin physically changed hands thousands of times, absorbing the energy of daily life. Every scratch and worn edge tells a story, not of damage, but of use. For collectors today, the 1979 Canadian 5-cent coin represents the end of an era when pure nickel coins were still common. Later changes in composition and minting technology make this coin a quiet reminder of traditional craftsmanship. It may not scream rarity, but it whispers authenticity. Serious collectors understand that coins like this form the backbone of a complete Canadian collection. In the end, the true value of the 1979 5-cent coin is not just measured in dollars. It lies in history, national identity, and continuity. It is a small object that connects modern collectors to a specific moment in time, a moment when Canada stood between tradition and change. And that is why, even today, this simple 5-cent piece still deserves attention, respect, and a second look. If you love rare coins and real history, don't forget to subscribe, comment your thoughts, and share this video with true collectors.